Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I've got a very interesting message for Scorpio today. This process of reading your cards has been really bizarre, I have to say, but I'm getting ahead of myself. To let you know how this works, I connect with my guides and spirit and ask them to bring through a message that's deeply meaningful and helpful for you this week as you navigate what's going on. And if you're new to this channel, welcome, and I invite you and encourage you to subscribe so that you can stay in contact every week with this high vibration information to help you keep moving forward. And if you're returning, so grateful for you, and thank you again for sharing some more time with me. Like I said, this is a very bizarre energy, very bizarre reading. I don't normally do this. I usually stick with the first set of cards that I draw, but it was like it was not feeling right. I drew the cards and I was like, oh my God, nothing is coming out. And I was starting to feel like queasy and like not in my body. And so I thought, okay, this can't be right. And so I left and I came back. In fact, I was going to, honestly, I was going to go lie down because I felt so weird. And my guide said, go back and do it. So I drew the cards again and they were worse. And I was like, what? I couldn't get through the surface of the card. So finally I said, all right, I'm just going to stick with this. And it's strange. So when I was drawing the first time, before I tried pushing them away, they said to me the words be and become. So you're in this process of really becoming another, it's not just fast, it's like becoming another person. I know in your life you go through so many transformations, but it's almost like you're having a hard time letting go of that old person. And yet that old person is, you have a revulsion for it. I think that's why I'm still feeling kind of queasy, but it's all in your mind. And some of it is as much as you've changed, you're also not wanting to acknowledge it. And so I think literally, like, my body's trying to make me feel sick, so I point this out to you because I was feeling fine before. That this process of rejecting your new self is not, it's not going well, it's not sitting well. So let's get started. We've got the Three of Pentacles, so that makes me think that not much is really going on in your world. It's kind of like same old routine. You might even be feeling a bit bored, but for some reason you react with the Seven of Swords. You don't want to see the truth of something. You don't want to see the truth about yourself. I wanted to clarify this card because I was a little bit confused with the other cards, and they of course give me the Devil. I'm just laughing because it's like every time I draw more cards, they seem to get a little darker and darker and darker. So this Devil is talking about you're really fooling yourself, and you're really kind of hell-bent on self-sabotage in the way that you are thinking about yourself, in the way that you're not acknowledging this transformation, the way that you've changed, and the way that you have really gained some independence. That's not being acknowledged, and you're still wanting to be a little bit in the dark with it, either and including with yourself, but also with other people. You're not really wanting to show that side to them. So let's look at your other ones. And again, still crazy. We've got the Page of Wands, Ten of Swords now, and into the Five of Pentacles. So I really get this is not a comfortable week for you. Last week the reading was so magnificent and huge, and it was like the universe was putting this huge hug, arms around you, everything was lovely. And then this week we're kind of like stuck back on the earth again, going, what the hell? So but really what that has to do with is we're still shedding some old junk. We're still getting rid of old junk. This Ten of Swords and the Page of Wands, we're still purging that teenage self. That self that thinks it has to please other people and always be there for other people instead of for yourself. And they're saying, you're at an ending point with this. But for some reason, you're feeling like the Five of Pentacles. Instead of looking at how far you've come and what this change means to you, what it deeply means to you, and how powerful it has been for you, you're for some reason focusing on lack. You're not looking at this beautiful pentacle that you are, this beautiful shining thing. You're looking down here. I'm not sure if the camera's focusing. You're looking down here at this, at nothing. You think there's grayness. You think there's nothing special in your world. Again, here, we're bored. There's nothing special in my world. Nothing's changed. Everything's the same. Why? And you're feeling depressed about it. So let me just ask them and the cards for a second exactly where they want us to go, because like I said, this is a very strange energy and time. I almost feel like you've got exactly everything. You've got that wholeness. You've got so much that you've asked for has already become true, and it's already there for you. It's just maybe not, it's not being seen by you. It's not being acknowledged, and it's not being taken in by you. And I'm not sure if that's because you keep looking back and identifying with that past self, and it makes that weird queasiness in your body. It's kind of like, oh, I don't even know if I want to share this, but I will. Women go through a very clear rite of passage. You know, in your teenage years, there's a very clear line between being a woman and being a child. And I don't want to go into graphic details about what I'm talking about, but I think you get what I mean. Like, your body physically changes, a process starts to happen every month, if you get what I'm saying. But once that process has happened, there is no way you can return to being a child without that process. Like, you biologically can't force your body to go back to being a child. And psychically, I think that's what's happening with you. It's like you've crossed this threshold, you've gone over this doorway, you've become a new person, you've gotten to this new phase of yourself, and you're not fully seeing it. So you keep trying to back up and go through that door that you work so hard to move through, to push through, and you're getting yourself stuck in your old junk again. And your body is like, I can't do that anymore. And so it really, the queasiness is lifting. This is so strange. It really, it just doesn't want to go back anymore. So this is about getting your psyche, your thoughts to attune forward to accepting this new person that you are. And maybe this new person didn't look like that beautiful vision we saw in the cards last week, you know, where everything was wonderful and perfect and heart desire came. Maybe you look different than you expected yourself to look, and you're having a hard time accepting it. It's like if you were to give birth and the child that comes out looks scary to you or looks repulsive, and you're like, oh my God, I gave birth to that. I have to embrace that. Maybe that's what this new self looks like to you, and you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to. You just don't want to embrace it. Okay, let me get back to here, because they took me on that tangent and I never actually looked at these cards. They're saying keep going. So the good and the beautiful and the desire doesn't always look the way we think it's going to. And I mean, this is a big manifesting lesson for everyone. We say what we want, we put it out to the universe, it comes back, and we said, well, wait a minute, I didn't ask for that. But actually, it's a complete vibrational match to what we asked for at the time. But this is more than that. This is really understanding that that person you've been asking to become is here, it's within you, and you need to embrace it right now, no matter how disgusting, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how repulsive it looks right now. Because once you embrace it, all of this junk is going to fall away. I was going to use an expletive, but I'll keep it nice. All this stuff is going to fall away, and then you're going to notice. You're going to notice this beautiful pentacle. You're going to see beauty in this, what looked like an ugly thing before. You're going to see so much beauty in it that your heart's going to want to burst. I'm just feeling this welling up here. It's like you can't appreciate the beauty right now because you don't know how to understand it. It's a trite example, but sometimes looking at modern art, it's kind of like, what? And you turn your head upside down and it still doesn't look right. But maybe it's because we don't understand the context that the artist was trying to work from or was conveying. Or when you listen to another language, it's kind of like, I don't understand this at all, but we don't know the language. So this new person you've become, you don't know its language yet. You don't know its particular beauty. You don't really know the ins and outs of how it works. All you know is that it looks different than your past self. It looks strange, and you're wanting to reject it. And these cards, my guides, spirit, everything is saying to you, this is part of it. Embracing this new, weird, repulsive self, repulsive aspect of yourself is part of it. And the switch is not changing that self, it's changing the way you look at it, changing your emotional response to it. Because really, I mean, you're thinking it's this, like this card, the boredom, the grayness, those rock. They're very similar, these two cards, but it's this. It's otherworldly. It's got all these glowing colors. There's even a dragon in it. So there's hidden power. There's all of this stuff that you have asked for, but you've got to learn how to love it. You've got to learn its language. So thank you for sharing this experience with me. This was very different. I've never had such a strong visceral reaction to one of these YouTube tarot readings before. But I really hope that the message is going through and getting down deep for you, because this is an important moment. This is an important week. So again, thank you for joining me. If you'd like to check out my website, True Guidance Tarot, I do offer one-on-one readings with some awesome follow-up support if that's what you're into, if that's what you need. If not, please feel free to share any of this information, the channel, website, whatever, with anyone you think who could use it. So I would look forward to seeing you next week, and have a good one.